Okay, I'm gonna assume that this is your kitchen walls. I mean, I know it's not. I have to use my screened-in porch because my wife don't want me to start building stuff inside the house unless it's permanent. But in any case, this is about your kitchen pantry. And one thing I want to start off with is, if you build it like a bedroom closet, the walls themselves are going to be 5 inches thick. Well, 5 inches in a kitchen is really a lot of room, especially when you multiply it times 2. So then you've lost 10 inches of space in your kitchen that you could use for something else. Because if your kitchen's anything like ours, we never have enough room. Of course, one reason is that we ought to quit buying stuff for the convenience. But in any case, that's beside the point. Alrighty, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get the corner, which I know you have, and then now we need to put on the floor the area that we think is going to be our pantry area. Now you don't want to do anything with the sheetrock on the ceiling. You want to leave it up there, because if you ever get rid of this thing, then it's just a matter of patching just a few holes. Alright, what I've got laid out over here is I have got my plywood, and this would be the best thing to use because you're only talking 3/4 of an inch thick. So all you're doing is building a huge cabinet, and you want to use something, I mean, I don't know what area you're in. You know, birch or maple is going to be your best bet, unless they have some kind of other cabinet material in your area that might be worth using. But what we're going to do now, we're going to cut out a 3-foot by 3-foot piece of section of plywood, and then we're going to figure out the amount of door that we want, or I'm sorry, not the amount, the size of the door that we want. So let me get this cut out, and then we'll take it in there and lay it down and try to figure out from there. Now that I got my piece cut, now we're going to come down. You know, this is 3-foot by 3-foot, so we'll come in 2 foot and then 2 foot from this side, and we'll see if we've got a 2-foot opening. Now that's about a 17 inch, so we really need a 2-foot opening. 17 would be hard for us to walk in there. Now this is based on 3-foot by 3-foot. Now you may want to make it 4-foot by 4-foot. Okay, we're fixing to cut this part off. Now it's 26 across here because we have to have a 1 inch or so return on each side so that we can hinge our door. But now, like I said, I'm going to go back to what I said a minute ago. This is based on 3-foot by 3-foot. You may want to make it bigger. Okay, we've taken our piece that we've cut. Now, one thing I did do, I bobbed the end, cut, I guess I'm going to call it, I just not cut the point off of the end, because a lot of times you can push these things in and, well, anyway, it gets all cattywampus. But in any case, okay, luckily we have an unsquare wall, so this is going to be easy to kind of show you how to work around that. But, alright, now that we've got our bottom, this is our so-called top piece. This is what's going to go on the ceiling, but we got to mark the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll run marks on the bottom, and then we'll take this piece and then move it up to our ceiling and screw it to the rafters. Okay, see, I'm standing in the doorway, which means I've still got a little room on each side, so in case I have to carry a box, I can fit through the door. Now, I've seen them as small as 18 inches, which means you have to go in sideways. But the nice thing about this is you can just, most of everything is within hand's reach. Okay, now that we've marked it, now we need to get us a straight edge, possibly a good straight 2x4, and we need to come from that little corner right there to this corner, so that in case these walls are off, which I know these are, then we'll be able to adjust this at the ceiling the way that we need to go. But we're going to assume that these walls are straight. You can see we've got our 2x4 against the edge of our so-called top piece that's on the floor, and then we're going to go up, and now we're going to mark the ceiling up there. Well, I said 4 spots, I meant 6 spots. You can see right there, this screen-in porch is off a lot farther than I thought. But in any case, okay, we did get it up there. But now we're going to have to cut our two blocks, because you know we don't have to worry about the back. And then we'll set them in place, and then we move on to the next piece. Okay, you can see those 2 points. We don't need to come out that much, plus those are definitely trip hazards, so we want to be able to cut them back. All we need is the 1 inch to come in on each side just for our door frame. I mean, you can make it any size you want. You can come in 2 inches. Okay, you can see we've got our 1 inch there for our door frame support on each side. Same with this one here, and then of course the long cut is on the inside of the cabinet. Right now we've pretty much got everything done, and remember now to put these on the correct side of your line. Don't do like I do sometimes and put them on the wrong side, and then you got to redo everything. Anyway, now you drill holes and run them into the concrete. Now, the reason I like to use screws is because I'm always having to adjust something. Something's out of plumb or whatever. If you nail it, you tear up more stuff trying to get it off than you do if you just use screws. The purpose of having this piece of plywood up there is we're able to hit one joist. I mean, we can barely catch the other one, but even just putting a bunch of screws into that one joist across there, there's no way this thing is going to fall or move or anything. So now that we've got that one done, now we need to put measure one across the center. Now we have got something to hold our plywood at the top and at the bottom. Cabinet, I'm going to do the 2 sides first. From that back point to the wall, okay, it shows to be 16 7/8, so we'll cut it 16 3/4. Now we're going to get an idea on what we've got here. Here. Now I've still got to cut in. Now this is all going to be one piece. We're going to come from the floor up, the height of a normal door, which we'll do 81 because usually a regular door is 80 inches. So we'll cut it in for 81, give you a little, clearance at the top. Then we're going to come over with our sides. On this one I'm going to do 2-inch in, 2-inch in, and then of course we'll go up 81, come across. The full piece will be at the top. The 2 legs will be for our door. There's our upper part. This is the size of your door. And you saw me walk in. Now what you need to do is, this is where you might need a little help, because you're going to have to rip down some 2x4 or 1x4 to close in this gap on the inside, on both sides, all the way down, because this piece here is going to be your door support. And whether you're going to use a regular 1 3/8 door or if you're just going to use a cabinet door, really doesn't matter. But on the outside edge, along this edge here, you can get some of that molding that would fit that corner going all the way up. That would close up that gap. And the same with the rear, as I said earlier. You're going to need some kind of corner mold or shoe mold or something. And then it's the same at the top. I mean, you're always going to have gaps on anything that you install like this. And down the back, well, of course, that's the same point. And then you get your baseboard and tie into what matches the rest of your house. Now, what I would do is I would get a cabinet shop, unless you can do it yourself, and get a piece of MDF, medium density fiberboard, and just make you a door that would overhang the edges that you've cut. That way you don't even have to fool with them other than just a little bit of sanding. Okay, you can see that little bit of a gap we had in there. Now if I would have gotten out my table saw and everything and spent a lot of time on it, I could have easily mitered this plywood edges. You can see how sturdy this thing is. I don't know if you can see me moving it or not, but it's good and sturdy. Now on the back side, you can just put some kind of a 2x2 or whatever in there, or when you run your cleats across the wall, you can just nail in from the front side to your cleat. That would keep the back part from tin canning. And running the cleats across this way is going to be better, because there again you're going to be able to hit a stud or two, which is going to make this wall even that much stronger. And now you've got a lot of room. I mean, it's almost like being in a shower.